Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Today I bring to you a video on what Monster Hunter Wilds can bring to Monster Hunter now. This video analyzes the possible crossover content that Monster Hunter Wilds can bring to MHN. So I got really lucky and got to be one of the first in the world to see live gameplay by the devs at Summer Game Fest Playdays. So some of the Japanese devs came over to Los Angeles and I went to Summer Game Fest Playdays, which was an invite only from creators, press, etc. and for newer games. We went behind this super cool theater and we got to see live gameplay of Monster Hunter Wilds, and we were the first in the world to see it because we're embargoed and everything, and that's the perks of being a Capcom creator. But it was super cool, and there was so much to see. I didn't make a video on it, but now that they're releasing these trailers, etc., there's a lot of cool things from the trailers that possibly can bring content from Monster Hunter Wilds, and then they can change it and put it into Monster Hunter now. Alright, first we're going to start out with the Seikret. So this mount may play a role in a quest or something. So we're probably going to see secrets in the game for a Monster Hunter Wilds event crossover, just like we did for stories. And it's also likely it can come into Monster Hunter now as a sort of companion. Of course, we have the trusty Palico. However, this thing can do a whole lot of interesting things when you're mounted onto it. One of the first and most notable ones is when you're mounted on a Seikret in Wilds, you regenerate health. So our health can regenerate faster if we ride a Seikret in Monster Hunter now. They can do it this way. So if you can ride a Seikret for like a minute or two, and then there's a cooldown to increase your health even more, and it can have more perks. So something like that can be implemented whenever we do hunts in Monster Hunter now. Speaking of the Seikret also allows you to be able to use 2 weapons during a hunt. This was super cool to see at Summer Playfest Game Days. Seeing it on the big screen and seeing them switch and hunt with it was just absolutely amazing between the greatsword and the light bowgun. And this is one of the best features from Wilds that could cross over to Monster Hunter now. The ability to switch between 2 weapons during a hunt is just super cool, and the possibilities and playstyles that could result from letting us switch weapons in Monster Hunter Now hunts would be amazing. Not just for us, but for our teammates, and if you play with a group and you're lucky enough to have a group of friends to play with, y'all can do a whole bunch of different combinations between status weapons and raw weapons. It's just the possibilities are endless, and it would be absolutely amazing again to have this feature into Monster Hunter Now. In addition, you have the Slinger, and I'm not sure how the Slinger could be incorporated into Monster Hunter Now. There would have to be an update where you could interact with the environment before this could become a thing, as in like around hunts, because when you see the video for the Slinger, it crushes a mountain and whatnot when you use the Slinger. So with this thing, you would have to use it for something. So it's not likely we'll have a claw/Slinger type of content in the future, but you never know. The claw is able to gather materials for us, but because our Palicos do that without having us on the screen anyways, they do it passively, and then they fill this small bag we have so we could gather materials. I'm not sure how the Slinger could be incorporated. Maybe you could latch yourself onto monsters one of these days, but seeing as Monster Hunter Now is still relatively new, I don't think that would happen anytime soon or would be viable. Again, maybe something for the future, you just never know. Moving on, we have Focus Mode. So the really cool thing about Focus Mode is it's essentially the lock-on skill without needing it as an equipment skill. I'm not sure what they would do with lock-on. Maybe with lock-on you could see highlight the weak spots, which would be a great feature, like you see right here, even though you memorize weak spots over time as you play Monster Hunter Now, and you get better at fighting monsters. Seeing this at Summer Playfest Game Days was really cool in LA. It was like, oh, and like you see this right here where it's glowing, the wounded parts, like it was just so cool to see, and the damage and the things you could do with Focus Mode is really welcome. Especially in the main series games where camera targeting was always really wonky, now we have something where you can actually lock on and has a purpose for it, instead of just moving around and switching around your camera and locking your camera on, which really had no purpose in comparison to focus. So the wounded mechanic would also reward players who are good at attacking certain monster parts with more damage. If you're more skilled, Monster Hunter Now rewards you with skill. So if you're more skilled players can get benefit from this wounded mechanic. So it would be really cool, and it would be really awesome to see that, hey, I fought a monster 1,000 times, I know its weak spots, hey, that thing's glowing red, let me attack it, and I do more damage. So the experience we get from those hunts pays off. And what do you do when you hunt? Well, you have your weapon, your favorite one, or something new you're trying. Either way, Monster Hunter Wilds can bring new weapon mechanics. As Monster Hunter Wilds, if you've seen the trailers or if you saw the early release like I did as far as the presentation, you could see that the light bowgun and other weapons, especially if you play main series, have way more mechanics. For example, light bowgun is able to move and fire at the same time in Monster Hunter World as well as Wilds. And that mechanic can be brought into Monster Hunter now. As a light bowgun main, I like slipping and sliding and perfect dodging to reload my ammo, but at the same time, it'd be pretty cool to see something like this where I can strafe and aim to make me feel like I'm in the military again. Or I'm at the firing range and hopefully hitting all my shots, because my first time I've ever shot in my life, I really sucked, but now I'm pretty good at it. In addition, you have the longsword, which has some new attacks for its EI Spirit Slash, and it is some new stuff. Everyone was really excited. When we were in that theater, when they showed us the Monster Hunter Wilds presentation, all the longsword mains, or those that played longsword from the press, were like, this is really cool, that's brand new, and the oohs and ahs, it was really exciting. And this could bring a really fresh feel, as the current weapon mechanics in Monster Hunter now do not change when they are updated. When they buff or nerf a weapon, they never add mechanics to it. So adding new weapon mechanics would be exciting, and seeing something new or being able to do something new with my weapon could bring a whole bunch of strategy and, again, excitement into the game. In closing, Monster Hunter Wilds also brings some really cool new monsters in the game. You're going to see the flagship shortly for the trailer, but the live gameplay showcase I attended at Summer Game Fest Playdays showed a live hunt with the new flagship monster. Sadly, the devs did not give a name for it. I don't know what they said it was. I recall they said it was Big Monster or something monster, but they didn't give an exact name of what it is. It's this giant thunder dragon, and it looks absolutely sick. Not sure if it's an elder dragon or just a regular flying wyvern, but it was super cool, and it has this giant railgun cannon thing. You see that little lightning right there? Yeah, it's really cool, and words can't describe the emotions I felt along with everybody else in that room when we were just seeing like the oohs and ahs, like not just for the weapons, but also just how big, gigantic, and how cool it was to see that hunt with that new monster. That also brings, again, new monsters that the main series has never shown. Given we haven't ran through even half of the Monster Hunter franchise with Monster Hunter Now, because it's relatively new, but just seeing new monsters, especially for the those I've been playing the main series game since the first one, or if you caught it within Worlds years before this, it's really cool. With that being said, please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. That showcase was absolutely amazing, and I'd like to thank all of y'all. Here's a little picture right here of the lounge. Super cool lounge, and this is only possible because of y'all that support my channel. So thank you, my community. I love y'all to death, and look forward to the next journey. Again, good luck on your grinds, and I will see y'all on the next video.